Tim here. Welcome to Budget Bronco. We are going to make a cool, epic road trip for this video to Big Bend National Park, a really cool park in western Texas that I'm really excited to check out. Show you some cool trails, do a little bit of off-roading, check out some campsites. It's supposed to be really cool and I'm looking forward to it. But before you go anywhere, for any Texas road trip, you must first begin at Buc-ee's. So, let's go. Okay, we got 2 breakfast tacos, 1 regular breakfast taco, 1 brisket taco, 2 packages of jerky, 1 regular peppered, 1 teriyaki, and a coffee, large coffee for $30, and gassed up for $2.50 a gallon. So we're ready to go. Quick pit stop here in San Antonio. It's cold and windy, but driving through town, had to stop and check out the Alamo. Some crazy cool history at this place. It's actually free, which is nice too. You can walk around through most of the areas into the church, and a lot of cool history and statues and plaques that kind of describe what happened here. If you're not familiar with the history of the Alamo, definitely read up on it. Interesting stuff. Got into the lodge late. It was dark. When I say dark, I mean it is like crazy dark here. And so we woke up, you just kind of like see this lodge is located in the top of the mountains, which is just like crazy cool. And for our first hike, we are going to hike up to the top of that peak, Emory Peak. It's like a 2,200 foot climb and a 10-mile round trip hike. So here we go. We made it to the top of Emory Peak, 2,200 foot climb from the lodge. I think we're at 7,400 feet elevation, highest peak in the Chisos Mountains. And the place that we hiked from is the lodge way down there. I'll zoom in and you can see it. That's where we started. And I'll do a quick zoom. They got obviously antennas and a solar panel up here, but it's pretty beautiful. You can see for crazy distances. Chisos Mountains. Everything in the distance is Mexico. That farther range, far range there, that's all Mexico. It was tough. Difficult hike at the very end, especially. You're basically bouldering. But worth it. Fun hike. One of our first stops at the park is at a hot springs, natural hot springs from up in the park up there, and you hike down, and here we are in the springs. This water is like 100. Oh man, like it's hot. It's got to be like 100 degrees. That's the Rio Grande, and that is Mexico. Just a minute ago, we heard could see some people kind of in the brush over there. Not sure what was going on over there, but that's the Rio Grande, and this water is like pretty hot. It's actually really nice. If you read the history up at the parking lot up there, apparently a guy tried to build a hotel back in the early 1900s and turn this into like a commercial enterprise of hot springs, and it didn't quite work out. But man, the water is nice and super beautiful. I'll do kind of a quick pan around, just like scenery. That's the Rio Grande. We're here at a border crossing to Mexico. The town just across there is called Boquillas del Carmen. And you just go through a little passport station up there on the U.S. side to make sure you have a passport. And then we're going to take this rowboat across. You can walk across if you want to. This guy apparently charges $5 to go across in a rowboat. So we're going to do that just for the fun of it. And we are now in Mexico, back where we got off the boat there. There's people trying to sell you a ride into town, or you can even, for 10 bucks, ride a donkey into town. But it's only 3/4 of a mile, so we're just gonna walk it. And when we get to town, I don't know, there's a restaurant. We're gonna get some tacos and just kind of hang out. One of the cool things I have here at the park are off-road trails. You can only go on with high clearance off-road vehicles that lead you to trailheads, so they're much less frequently traveled. So that's what we're going to do next. We're on a old trail that they used for some kind of mining. It's called Old Ore Road. We'll take this for about 5 miles and then we'll do a cool hike. After we made that 5-mile drive, we're here at the trailhead, and I think this is about a 3-mile hike to this thing called a Tinaja or something like that. So I'll take some video when we get there. So we hiked well, maybe like a mile and a half at the most through like this canyon, which is pretty cool. And then you come up on this Ernst Tinaja is what it's called. Yeah, let's kind of circle around. It's pretty cool. Like this, obviously water rushing through here carves this thing out, but really cool kind of formations, and carved through this canyon. And down here, like, really cool where the water is just totally carved itself in here. Cool. I'd recommend this cool hike, Ernst Tinaja. Today's hike, we're going to be hiking what they call the Santa Elena Canyon, and it is right there. We'll be hiking right up through there. The Rio Grande River flows through that canyon. I think it's a pretty short hike, only like a couple miles, but it's supposed to be really scenic, so let's go. We hiked to the end of the canyon. It was a cool, not too difficult hike, and as you can see, this place is pretty amazing, especially the view there up through the canyon. And one of the really cool things about this, I'm not sure it'll get picked up in this video, but the echo here is really awesome. Hello! Echo! Not sure if you could hear that, but it's pretty cool. It's our final night at Big Bend, and tonight we're doing something that maybe I'm most excited about. We've reserved this off-road campsite. It's probably easily 10 miles away from anybody. We passed a bunch of campsites and they were empty. So it's good to have the Bronco. You have to take an off-road trail to get here. So we're in the middle of nowhere, and it's just like super beautiful, and the sun has just gone down, and the colors are really nice. Probably saw the moon is rising right there. So that part's all amazing. The only downside is we're here in January 2025, and the weather is definitely cooler than normal. So the highs in the daytime have been pretty much perfect, like in the 50s. Maybe even high as 60 down by the river. But the lows tonight are going to be in the 20s. And that's probably a little chilly for, we don't necessarily have like the greatest cold weather gear. So we're going to see how it goes. Worst case, we're going to stay up and look at the stars. One of the cool things about Big Bend is just this crazy dark. So it's great for star watching. And worst case, if it gets super cold and we're freezing, we're gonna just pack everything up and head back to the lodge. So that's what we're doing tonight. We'll have a report after we're done. So we ended up packing up in the middle of the night. It got cold down into the 20s. It was forecast, and I didn't want to freeze, so it was on me. Drove home the next day. Here's stats from the trip. And overall, amazing trip to Big Bend. I'd highly recommend it. One of the coolest places near the top of the list of places I've been. Also, really great spending time with my son Jack. Love you, buddy. It was great. Definitely something we'll remember. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more Bronco videos. Appreciate the likes and subscribes, and see you next time.